All right. Welcome, everyone, to the latest episode of the AFK podcast. I am your host, Afro Black, coming at y'all with yet another episode with my boy, Mr. Monkov's portrait. Flip Flop will be joining later. Say hello to the people.
Yo.
Yo. I like that. Straight and simple. Fantastic.
Well, now that it's July, I don't have to worry about anything else.
Ha!
I'm sorry. I don't feel good about that. 30 seconds in. Oops.
Well, no regrets now. Full send it.
Yes.
Anyways, we got quite a few articles for y'all today. Some optimistic, some kind of funny, and some just sad, and some just pathetic. So let's just hop right into this bullshit, shall we? First things first, we got a bit more stuff regarding Nintendo's next gen console, or I should say more specifically, a couple of rumors. First things first, apparently the Blizzard CEO or Activision Blizzard CEO blew the lid and said that apparently their next gen console will be on par performance wise with the PS4 and Xbox One. Um, I'm it's like if you're looking at it face value, it doesn't sound too impressive, but considering Nintendo is usually like 2 or 3 generations behind in hardware, I'm glad that we're getting closer to 1080p 60 FPS and not block graphics. So that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't know. There are some people that are throwing a fit that it's not going to be like PS5, Xbox stuff, or Xbox X stuff. But I feel like graphics wise, there's not really that much of a noticeable leap from last gen to this gen. Other
It's
than like
mainly
ray
just lighting
tracing.
and FPS
It's
in
yeah,
terms of
ray
like graphical
tracing and
shit.
then like fucking SSD stuff are like the big things. Like we've short of the ray tracing stuff, we've kind of peaked graphically, I think. Um I don't think Nintendo needs to be any more juiced up than that, especially for shit like Mario or Kirby where
Exactly. Like
they
the
don't
last thing
necessarily
people
shoot
really
for a
want
realistic design.
I was gonna say like most of their IPs they don't require a photorealistic type of fucking graphical engine. Most of it's
Yeah.
gonna be cartoons, 3D models, stuff, cartoons and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm definitely all for like better lighting in the game. Obviously, I'm all for 60 FPS bare minimum for performance. And if they have PS4, Xbox One power, and that honestly shouldn't be too hard considering once again the type of engines that they typically work with. So, and also on top of that, like graphical like max graphics has never been Nintendo's lane. It's about experience, story, and or gameplay. It's not necessarily like, oh, look how pretty our game is. That's
Yeah.
never been like their main focus. So I don't understand why people are bitching about it now all of a sudden as if like they went to that and then they quit on that.
Yeah. No,
So,
I the benchmarks that they're allegedly shooting for are more than fine,
hmm
especially for a handheld. Like Christ, I think.
I think that's
I mean,
fantastic for a
granted,
fucking
I
handheld.
yeah, and granted, it's completely different than. I realize they're like two completely different things, but like there's a lot of Steam Deck games that don't even, or games that you can play on the Steam Deck rather, that don't quite hit that benchmark even.
Yeah.
Which I get is more of a PC optimization thing. But I mean, if we're getting to a point where we're having, I mean, like fucking God of War's a PS4 game, right? Spider Man's PS4 game. Ghost of Tsushima PS4 game. Elden Ring PS4 game. If we've got consoles that are able to run that natively with little to no issues on a handheld scale, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I agree actually. 100%. So, um so yeah. So that's that one. There should be okay. So, following up on this, let's see here. This was June 28th according to Game Rant. Um in shareholder Q&A, a Nintendo executive eases concerns as the possibility of a follow-up console to the Switch looms on the horizon. Um, Nintendo has good news for fans hoping to get their hands on whatever console comes after the Switch. Um, let's see, colloquially referred to as the Switch 2. Early adopters may not have to worry about low stock if Nintendo has anything to say about it. Video game console availability has been a big topic of conversation in recent years due to a variety of reasons beyond the control of the manufacturers. But Nintendo executives hope to directly address at least one of those issues. Um, let's see here. When the Nintendo Switch was released in 2017, it immediately became one of the game industry's elusive pieces of hardware. They were so rare, in fact, and in such high demand that Nintendo deflected claims that it had artificially created a false scarcity by intentionally manufacturing fewer consoles than the market demanded. The
I
idea
remember
was that with fewer consoles on the market, Nintendo could generate more headlines about the console's fervent demand to make it seem like more of a desirable item than it was. Nintendo's executives quickly dismissed these claims. Shortages continued, however, and these were more difficult by, or were made more difficult by scalpers who bought out stock at retailers and resold the consoles elsewhere at exorbitant prices. Um, let's see here. While fielding questions from shareholders, Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa said that for future console releases, Nintendo plans to have more than enough stock available to any and all gamers hoping to get their hands on a console. Furukawa did not offer specifics on exactly how many consoles the company plans on making available at any given time, especially upon release when demand is at a fever pitch. There are currently no plans for an announcement of a Switch 2, however. Furukawa went on to say that the company would also decide whether there are any other possible measures Nintendo could take to ensure constant availability. This statement, while vague, suggests Nintendo is planning strategies to avoid the various market demand roadblocks the company has faced in recent years, such as Nintendo Switch chip shortages and scalpers. Let's see. That's about it. How do you feel about that, Carter?
uh, we'll see. I mean, they've definitely been a lot better um, in recent years with stocking stuff properly.
Mm-hmm.
They, I don't know. I definitely remember there was a few years period. It's kind of constantly been an allegation on Nintendo's part as far as, or against Nintendo rather, as far as the availability of stuff. Even going so far back as the Wii. I remember when I got one of those this summer they came out. It was like the biggest fucking deal in the neighborhood because you couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah.
Um, and this was like right after they came out. I managed to get one. My brother and I got one for it was a joint birthday gift just because it was such a hot commodity thing that he was like, "Hey, look what Dad got." Um, but yeah, it's been like that with the Wii, the 3DS, the Switch, even like some not hardware stuff. Like I remember back at the beginning of the whole Amiibo craze, and even now,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that is unnecessarily scalped due to supply and demand. Um, but yeah, I think the only thing that would really be stopping them at this point would be any kind of potential chip shortage. I feel like if they choose to continue to go down the path of the hybrid console thing, you're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna adopt that as opposed to the whole Wii U thing, which didn't. That was a marketing disaster. I think Nintendo's completely 180'd how they've chosen to market their hardware and software since 2017, since the Switch launched.
I'd hope so.
Um, and I mean, it shows. Like it's already fucking like the Switch outsold the Wii U within the first year on the market.
Yeah.
Like there are games that have like quote unquote flopped um, that have sold more than the console, the Wii U, um, on the Switch. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like they are finally starting to become cognizant of kind of the money printer that they have. Which I mean, like their handhelds have always been like fucking money printers. The fact that they're pushing the whole hybrid thing, assuming they continue to do that, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot to not have something ready for everybody at launch.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, there may be some people that are just like, no, just go ahead and give us like a stay in one place, like at home console device. So, because not everybody wants the handheld, but I'm just kind of like, I mean, but there's also really no other handheld device out on the market. Why wouldn't they keep that niche?
Yeah.
Especially since they've already got the IPs that run plenty well on the Switch as it is, and obviously their next gen console, if the rumors are true, they're gonna do any better, even better. So it's just like, why wouldn't you just keep this same like design schematic and start efficiently making whatever you need for hardware to make this hybrid console even more powerful and have more features than the previous one did? I think
Yeah.
somebody said that someone on the podcast said one time that the Wii and the Wii U were there to walk and crawl so that the Nintendo Switch could run. So it's just like, I'm also not going to sit here and say that the Wii U was a complete disaster, cuz I honestly think that that was just like an experiment to see what they could do with the Switch.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, the Wii U was kind of a disaster, though.
yes. I think my cousins actually had one though.
I had one.
It wasn't too bad. Obviously, they could have
No,
done better
I
with it,
loved
but
mine. It just didn't. Yeah, they didn't fucking market it well enough.
hmm. So Philip, to catch you up on this, apparently there's a rumor going around that the next Nintendo console, so the Switch 2 is what people are calling it, will have the same performance as a PS4 or an Xbox One. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm not very surprised.
I mean, yeah, yeah. You got anything else?
No.
No,
Cool.
you bitch.
I don't know what else to say to that one. I don't know. I'm not surprised. Sucks for them, but it's always kind of sucked at that time. So
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no,
I
no,
think
no,
we were
no.
talking about this like graphically. I don't think you need to be much more stronger than a PS4. People are buying consoles.
fair.
Like the average console gamer is not going to sit there and say if this game isn't going to be ray tracing 8K at 144 frames a second on launch day, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. I
Also
would
fair.
It's
say
just
that the
not a concern.
standards for today for the average person that plays video games still is easily achievable on handheld. For fuck's sake, the Steam Deck can almost do it. It just falls short on resolution. That's it.
Yeah, and a
Most
lot of the
people,
resolution comes down to the optimization because it's still running like full blown PC games. So
yeah. And I mean, to be fair, it's just like they aren't too far off. They're hitting 60 FPS. They just aren't hitting 1080p.
yeah.
That's the only thing, which honestly, with the Switch 2 still a ways away, that should be more than like achievable in the next few
Wait,
years.
when do they say the Switch 2 is gonna come?
These are literally nothing but rumors right now on
Mm,
what's going to be happening. Now, to be fair,
okay.
this is a fairly strong rumor because apparently Activision Blizzard's CEO is the one that leaked it by accident. I don't know if it was on accident or not, but nonetheless, he's the one that basically announced it.
Yeah.
So there must be some credibility to it, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really hope he's not just lying on their name or something.
I mean,
Right.
it's at the point that it's pretty obvious they're going to have people working on games. So
Yeah.
to have a CEO of a major company that they've had a pretty good track record with the last generation, it would make sense that they have some kind of dev kit at this point.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Something to toy
I
with
mean,
and
they got,
experiment with.
yeah, I mean, they got Overwatch on there. They had Overwatch 1, Diablo 3. Like, they've gotten a pretty good relationship back on foot with Activision the last gen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of gotten to a point where they're starting to talk about COD as well. So, yeah, I don't necessarily doubt them in that regard, especially since it was in a court hearing. So,
True. 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 True.
I do not want to play COD on a Switch.
well, you don't have to, but
I know.
I don't
I don't
To
know.
be
like to play
fair,
Call of
I
Duty
like.
in general.
If it's as powerful as a PS4, software wise, and they want to sit there and go, hey, here's like a Black Ops Legacy collection or some shit, I would do that.
That's fair. I play some zombies on my Switch.
I was gonna say I'm 100% in it for zombies, but like I would fucking
I ain't
chill for
playing no
that.
fucking multiplayer on that garbage ass network
Fuck
adapter.
no.
Got me
Yeah,
fucked up.
that'll be the other thing.
Fair
that would,
enough.
work
Not
for
my
me.
thing, but I get it. I don't think it's a big deal.
Philip, you got a Switch.
I do have a Switch.
Everyone has a Switch, you fool.
I have a
Exactly.
Switch. I barely
I
play the
know.
Switch, but like I have like specific sets of games that I'd like to play. Like, I don't know.
I
I'm
agree
not
with
trying
that.
to play COD on my Switch.
No,
It's just,
no, not at all. Let's see
It's
here.
not
I
Like,
don't. I really don't care of any rhyme or reason to play COD on my Switch. I just don't care that much.
I've been trying to find more party games to get. So, or not try and find, but I've been working on getting more party games. And then I have JRPGs. So I have fucking fighters on fucking game cartridge. I have Pokken Tournament. That's fun as shit. I got Mortal Kombat. I'm still waiting. I'm still trying to get Super Smash Brothers, but every time it comes back to mind saying, "Oh, hey, wait, I don't have this game yet. I don't have the money to get it." So
Fair
and,
enough.
and then I got both of the Metroid games for Switch. So I got Metroid Prime Remastered and Dread. Dread is hard as shit.
For real.
That's
Um
pretty fun though.
and then I got Pokemon games. So it's just like
Solid.
those are basically my niches. I have Shin Megami Tensei, but that was because that was like a like borderline peer pressure by the likes of Kane, because he's just like, you need to get it. It's such a good fucking franchise, bro.
Fair.
I mean, it is a good franchise.
Listen, I don't doubt it. It's just, I haven't even
You
started it
wouldn't
yet.
have Persona without it, and Persona's the only video game that matters.
Yeah, we'll be getting into that later too.
True.
But yeah, and then the second bit of new Nintendo console news, Philip, is Nintendo is saying that they're going to be doing their absolute bestest, their absolute try hardest to make sure that there are no demand or supply shortages for the next console. But my thing is, they can only control that so much, because chip shortages, obviously, that's out of their hands. That's literally the manufacturer before the manufacturer of the fucking console.
Fair enough. I mean, cool.
Like, so in my eyes, like, Nintendo can sit there and say, yeah, no, we're gonna make sure that there's not gonna be any shortages, but when like the actual manufacturing comes to play and the fucking the chip people are just like, well, we want more money, or their fucking factory workers say, nah, fuck this, I want more money, and go on strike, or anything along those lines, or those situations, what the fuck is Nintendo gonna do about it?
Just pay him. No. Anyways, I wouldn't buy a Switch 2 first day. Anyways, I don't know if there's anything that's gonna be like, yeah, I gotta get this right now.
They would have to have the right games launch besides
Even the
Mario.
right games launch, I just don't feel like off of their first year they're gonna have many games that are only on the Switch 2 and not on the previous Switch.
That's fair.
No, but if they choose to continue to adopt that format, there's no reason they can't do what every other company's done the last 10 years and drop like fucking HD or enhanced versions of their current lineup.
Yeah, I just think, yeah, most other companies, even Xbox and PlayStation, they still have them on the PS4 until like later they're gonna be like, all right,
It's
now we're
usually
gonna
like a couple
start.
years into the new generation cycle
Yeah,
before
because
they
they
even
want
start
many
making
people to.
exclusives.
Yeah, they don't want to do it until they know like they got as much people as they can on the console, and then they're gonna do it.
As much of an immediate population, if you will.
Yeah.
Wait a couple years, make sure like you have a decent core player base before you're just like, okay, this next
Yeah.
game completely exclusive to the next generation.
It might be like very specific games that come out on the Switch 2 that I'd be like, okay, I need the Switch 2 for, because I just don't think Mario Party or any Mario
No.
is gonna really
I
push
agree.
it.
I mean, it will
Well,
push it
no,
for
but at the
most
same
Nintendo
time,
people, I
like,
would agree. I would argue.
yeah.
But if you're talking about myself or you, Philip, no, that's not gonna make me want to swap. The only thing that's really gonna make me swap is like, one, it would have to be the next main stage Pokemon game. 2, it would have to be one that's optimized and good starting day 1. Because I'm tired of broken messes.
Fair.
It'll be interesting. I think. So like the problem with like the Nintendo stuff, like you're saying, Philip, like yeah, no one's going out of their way to buy a Nintendo console because oh I can play Doom, oh I can play Witcher. Like they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
buy that so that way they can play Nintendo games.
Oh, most definitely. I just think like um it's just in my eyes. I don't care for you telling me that there's a shortage or not in the beginning because uh I don't think I don't think I'm stressing if I don't get one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can agree.
that's
I have a
fair.
Switch already. I have plenty of
It,
games
it,
on it. It does
I'm
its
sure
job.
I'm sure as soon as it gets announced, the pre-orders will sell out because people just want to get them,
They will.
and that's
I
reasonable.
don't
I
doubt
just
that.
don't think them telling me like, "Oh, I'm gonna try my hardest for it not to have a shortage," really doesn't matter because if you had a shortage, most people would be like, "Well, it's not that big of a deal."
Yeah, because I would argue most people that really want to switch by at this point they already have one. So it's just like if there was a shortage, I don't think there would obviously still be outrage because there's always people like that, and there are
Yeah,
gonna be people, and to an extent, I can agree like that it
yeah,
is low key unacceptable. But like I've said before, it's not like it's directly Nintendo's fault. It's the partnerships that they have with the
right.
manufacturing companies for the hardware itself. It's just like they can't do anything about it. They've just put their brand on it. That's it.
Yeah, I think the only way I'd be mad is if they came out the Switch 2 and then all the games they announced were like, these are only going to be on the Switch 2. Then it's like, well, now I need one.
Yeah, but you won't
That's what
give
they
me
did
Then
when
one.
they did the. That's what they did when they did the new 3DS, like 5 or 6 years into the 3DS life cycle.
yeah,
They
and
just
I
juiced
feel
up the internal specs and said, "Hey, here's Xenoblade Chronicles, but you have to have this new DS to run it."
yeah, that's I never played it, so it never really bothered me. But if I
Fair
was like
enough.
my last goddamn was a Wii U or something, completely different console, and they're like, here's the Switch and all these games coming to the Switch, then I feel a
Yeah,
need. That's why we really wanted one when they first came out. But now it's a like the OLED thing was like, well, it's a nicer screen, and the people who want it will get it, but
Yeah.
I'm not hurt if I don't get it. And I think that's kind of how the
yeah.
Switch 2 will be,
But now
unless
it's an
they
OLED
were,
screen with the power of a PS4.
yeah,
Shit, I bought
Steam
a
Deck's
fucking
not even
OLED
that.
within it being out for I think a few months, a handful of months. But that was also
Yeah, I
because I
got
was
mine within
playing.
the first year.
Yeah, but that was also because like my previous Switch was a Switch Lite. So it's just like I want a bigger screen. I don't really want to play on like a screen the size of a Game Boy Advanced anymore.
Yeah,
fair.
So,
Hmm.
but
But yeah, it'll go
yeah.
well. It'll
As
do all right.
for like, I honestly think the biggest contender for why people would be severely pissed on not being able to get their hands on the next console is if they have a strong enough lineup day one to actually justify it. And I honestly think even considering the people that really like Mario, it's gonna need something more than Mario for day one. It's gonna need
see, I
it.
don't know if that's gonna be the case though, because look at the Switch's day one lineup. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
1-to-1, I bought a Switch, I bought Zelda. Like, if you have one really good first-party Nintendo game, people are gonna buy your console day one.
They're gonna
Breath of
do
the
it.
Wild
Fair enough.
showed that,
All they have to say is like,
and
this will
like,
only be on the Switch 2. You can't play this on the Switch 1. And
right,
everybody's gonna be like, all right,
and that's
give
not
me
to
it.
say you're not gonna have something or that you won't need something to show them down the line, but like, they announced the Switch in like January, the year it came out, like 2 months before it came out, and said, "Hey, the Zelda game we've been hyping up for 6 years is a launch title. Also, Mario's coming, Splatoon is coming, Smash Brothers is coming, Mario Kart's coming." Like none of these were launch titles except for Zelda, and people still it printed fucking money. It's sold out on Zelda alone, and the promise of shit in the future.
Fair enough. But I would also argue that Nintendo's fairly good on their promises too. Like I can't think of very many games they've said, "All right, we have to delay this."
Nintendo's a cult.
Well, I mean that,
True.
or you just announce them and then don't say anything for 6 years. Cough, cough. Metroid Prime 4.
Nintendo's a
True.
cult. That's what it is. They're a cult.
True.
But no, I'll if Nintendo can market a system properly, that's as much as they need because nobody's buying a Nintendo platform going, I wish Nintendo would experiment more. It's I want more of this
Yeah,
series.
exactly. Yep. Hey man, you know those 6 games you made 7 years ago and completely forgot about? Can we get an eighth one?
7 years ago. Yeah.
10 years
Every now
ago.
and then there's
13.
someone who's like, "Hey, where's F-Zero? Where's Kirby Air Ride 2?" But then as soon as they announce new shit for like Zelda or Splatoon, everyone's like, "Oh, okay, I'm done."
Yeah, we're
So they
bored.
just jump on that and they stop. Yeah. That's all you need.
Jonte plays Splatoon. That's just funny. I love it.
That's
He's
funny. I,
like,
I did not expect that.
he's like, yeah, man,
He's
I
fucking
actually
awesome.
like it. He's like, I get the big ass roller and I just be.
Yeah, that's what you do. You literally steamroll it.
That's great. But yeah, so I don't really have any expectations per se just yet for the Nintendo, the next one anyways. So we'll have to wait and see what not only the confirmed specs are, but also see what kind of games they're working on and shit like that. Because honestly, I would like to see another Metroid game. Um, I want to see. Obviously, there's going to be another Smash Brothers game. I don't really have to be excited to see that. There's going to be another Mario Party, another Mario Kart, probably another Mario Odyssey, so on and so forth. So, um, let's see here. Speaking of Nintendo, on to the next thing. So it looks like the newest DLC arrived for Mario Kart 8 on, let's see, probably the 6th or close to that.
The
Um,
13th. It says in the article it comes out on the 13th.
I was reading the title, motherfucker. Anyways, all right, Mario Kart
Okay.
8's deluxe next wave of DLC courses is coming to Nintendo Switch on July 12th.
Whatever.
Wave 5 of the Booster Course Pass for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will add an all new track, Squeaky Clean Sprint, and 3 new drivers to the playable roster, PD Piranha, Wiggler, and Kamek.
Yep. So this is all stuff that we knew prior when they like announced it initially. But
Yes.
since the announcement of this, they have dropped the full list of new courses, which is why I reposted this.
They dropped
So
what?
they dropped the full list of tracks that are coming
Oh,
instead of
okay.
just showing off the new one. So in this one, we are getting Koopa Cape from Mario Kart Wii, Los Angeles Laps from Mario Kart Tour, Moon View Highway from Mario Kart Wii, Athens Dash from Mario Kart Tour, Daisy Cruiser, the best course from Mario Kart Double Dash, fight me. Sunset Wilds from Mario Kart Super Circuit, and Vancouver Velocity, also from Mario Kart Tour.
I see. So some of the best courses from other Mario Kart games, essentially.
Daisy Cruiser fucking rips.
You mean you're ripping around that goddamn track, or it just rips apart all the other competition?
It's just an amazing course.
Oh, okay. So,
Like any
um,
Double Dash track is goaded.
um, speaking of DLC, do you know when the Pokemon DLC even comes out, Carter? I know it said fall,
Uh,
but
I don't. They have not announced release dates for those. It's currently at like fall and winter.
I see. Okay.
So
Okay,
um,
okay. But
I'm hoping they don't have set release dates for them yet, so they can polish them and make them playable on day one.
yeah, that'd be nice. That's why I haven't bought the battle
Sure
or the
would be.
pass yet.
Same. Also, I want them to confirm Togepi, or I'm not giving them another set for Scarlet and Violet.
Just bring it over from one of the other games, dude.
Can't.
Oh, is home not out yet?
I mean, Home's out, but it's not. Togepi is not in the decks for the game currently.
Mm. Well, that's annoying.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so yeah. So for people that got the courses but haven't hopped on the game yet, there you go. There's the confirmed roster. And I hope you guys have a good time with that.
I don't.
Let's see here. Moving on. So, Magic the Gathering took the world by a mini storm. We'll call it a supercell. Because one of their latest expansions, or actually their latest expansion, was in collaboration with Lord of the Rings. They came out with like multiple different types of like booster packs you could get. You could get like an actual collector's booster box that rose up to like $500 per box. Came with like 12 booster packs and all that good stuff. You could get gift bundles at Walmart and shit for like $60. Came with another 12 boosters, so on and so forth. Well, there were a couple different subtypes of chaser cards, if you want to call them that. They had a bunch of serialized ring cards that were based off of obviously Lord of the Rings lore. They had a couple that were like number serialized for like 1,000 of that specific card. Another one had 500 of that specific card printed. Another one had 300, and I think one more had 100. Well, the top of the line one was the one of one, the One Ring. There was only one printed, period. Okay. And I think 3 or 4.
All right, not doing so well, but I'm gonna
The
light
fuck?
myself
Sorry,
here.
Oh, my bad.
I honestly was about to start yelling at Philip. He's usually the one that does that shit.
No, that one
Yeah.
was me. I apologize. I meant to hit down and I hit up on the volume thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. So a handful of card shops actually put bounties up. The most insane one, I believe, before someone finally pulled it, was I think $2 million raw. There is a grading company called Beckett Collectibles. I actually have a couple of submissions over there at their headquarters right now getting graded, which you guys will be seeing videos of on the channel as well. So this card, Beckett Collectibles put out their own pseudo bounty for it, where basically, if you pulled it, you contacted Beckett through whatever you needed to, whatever, like, you could send them an email, you could contact them on social media, it didn't really matter. And if once they confirmed it, basically what they were offering was they were going to be doing a custom label for the card, all in Elvish, along with obviously grading the card. You got a printed off artwork based off of Lord of the Rings. I think they brought in a couple of artists that were associated with the franchise. You got a free plane ticket, and I think you could bring one other person with you that was completely paid for by Beckett. They would fly you out and grade the card in person. And they gave you a sort of discount coupon to be able to put towards your next submission if you chose to go with them again. And then the last part of this prize was they gave you 4 booster boxes of, I think, upcoming Magic the Gathering sets or some shit like that. So it was a pretty big bang for your buck, right? Well, apparently, the card had been found. I believe this was like a week and a half ago was when it was finally revealed that it was pulled. Not only had it been pulled, but the reason why people found out was because it showed up in PSA, a competing card grading company. It showed up in their pop reports. Basically, pop reports will be the population of a total amount of that specific card that corporate or that company has graded, and then they separate that number to each category, differentiating the grades. So you have grade 1, which is like basically the card is borderline ripped in half, to Gen Mint 10, which means that the card is essentially flawless. So obviously, since this is a one of one, this is the only card that'll ever show. This is the only one that'll ever show up in their pop report, and same with all the other companies; those will stay 0. This card ended up showing up on there. Not only it had already been graded and stuff like that. So yeah, it has finally ended. It turns out that it was pulled from a random gift bundle up in Canada by a regular guy. He's a forklift driver. Probably not anymore because he's probably going to sell the card. But yeah, he ended up pulling it. Didn't post it on social media or anything like that. He just quietly sent it in, got it graded, and now here we are. So yeah. Oh, and Carter,
Yeah.
you remember how I told you how Beckett was basically gonna charge the person who pulled this literally nothing, and they were gonna pay for it and all this other shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, PSA didn't put anything out like that, so my assumption is that this motherfucker paid about $10,000 to get this graded. Because PSA will upcharge you depending on the declared value of the card, and since people were already putting out bounties worth of like millions of dollars on this card, that requires PSA to upcharge them to the max, which is $10,000. So,
Jesus fucking Christ.
yep. So,
I mean, on the one hand, that's really shitty, but like at the same time, like you could probably get away with taking out a loan with a card like that, knowing that you're probably gonna have your money back within the same day you get it.
yeah. My thing is
Yeah, that's scummy.
yeah, no. So my thing is, well, for one, PSA never put out a bounty, so I'm not really going to like shit on them for that, because since they never put out a bounty or anything like that, they were under no obligation to get grade the card for free for them. The second thing is assuming this guy is a regular 9 to 5 or like 12-hour shift, like factory worker or whatever the case may be. I'm assuming he just didn't see the advertisements by Beckett and shit. But nonetheless, it's really shitty. I feel bad for the guy, considering this man had to probably pull 10K out of his ass or through a bank's ass to get this graded, when he could have got a bunch of free shit and gotten this graded for free if he had just so happened to be following Beckett and just so happened to have seen the advertisement.
Yeah.
That's the only unfortunate part, but
Yeah, but
what are you gonna do?
capitalism's gonna capitalize.
No. So yeah, the search is over. I believe all the other ring cards that are serialized and have a number on the cards themselves, I don't think all of them have been pulled. So there are still some cards in there that are still worth trying to pull or start trying to go after. But obviously they're worth nowhere near as much as the One Ring. I think the next highest is like $500 or $600. I think.
That's still not bad.
No, not at all. It's just, you're comparing
It's
like
not
a
literally one of one card.
yeah. So, yeah. It was also funny too because I seen this on a Reddit thread. I think it was like earlier this week or late last week, and within the same day, I was watching the market value of those booster boxes going down from 500. By the time I left at like 6 in the afternoon when I was done at work, I think the booster boxes were down to like 350.
Jesus.
So yeah, people were just like, nah, fuck this. I ain't trying to spend no
Oh, why would you? If
$500.
the fucking if the grand prize is already pulled, why would you keep fishing?
Damn straight. So yeah. Philip, how do you feel about people trying to pay $2 million for a trading card?
Hey man, if you got the money, go for it.
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Do what you want to do with your money,
Fuck yeah.
but
I
don't
like
do
that.
what you want to do with other people's money, because that's rude.
True. Unless you rob them, then it's technically your money now.
It's true.
Fair.
So yeah, the Great Chase card of the last few years has been pulled, and it was pulled by a regular guy instead of like a major company. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty wholesome.
Good.
Speaking of something that's
Chungus 1000.
speaking of something that's not so wholesome, I don't really know how to feel about this. The studio behind Gollum will stop developing games after its dismal release. Carter, why don't you tell us about this, dude?
Hey man.
Yeah. Get that bad boy pulled up here. God damn it. There we go. My fucking Discord is being slow as shit. Yep, so developer Datalook Entertainment halted work on other Lord of the Rings projects. So this team had multiple Lord of the Rings games in the pipeline. As of June 30th, they have both apologized for the dismal launch state of Lord of the Rings Gollum. They are now shuttering its development arm to instead focus on publishing games since Gollum did not meet the studio's expectations. According to a report by German news magazine Games Workshop, Daedalic Entertainment said 25 of its over 90-person team has been affected, saying it was a, quote, difficult decision, but one that'll mark a, quote, new beginning for Daedalic. In an email to Kotaku.com, the posters of this article, a Daedalic Entertainment representative said that 8 promising releases are still coming this financial year, though it was not specified if these games are developed by the studio or someone else entirely. The representative stated, quote, even though Lord of the Rings Gollum did not live up to the expectations we had for the game, we are very grateful for the opportunity and the learning experience it brought us. It is
Interesting.
it's a very difficult break, but also a new beginning in the already long history of Daedalic Entertainment. We value each and every one of our members on our we value each and every member on our team very much, and it is important to us that the transition goes as well as possible. We will therefore support our former employees in finding new opportunities within our network. End quote. As a result of this change in strategy, Daedalic Entertainment's in-development projects, including the other 3D action-adventure games set within the Lord of the Rings universe, codenamed It's Magic, have been halted. Surviving Deponia, the single-player colony simulator announced on June 10th, will continue as planned, with Atomic Torch now serving as the primary developer.
Huh.
Lord of the Rings Gollum launched May 25th to much derision from critics and players alike. Despite reportedly pulling in $400,000 worth of sales and reaching the number 6 spot on the UK sales chart on launch week, Daedalic Entertainment says it still did not meet expectations. That makes sense considering just how bad it was. Folks dragged it online from everything to Gollum's character model to the typeface used. It flopped so hard the studio tweeted an apology on May 26th, promising to fix the bugs and technical issues to make it an enjoyable experience. However, the studio has been silent since.
Yikes.
It's
So,
tough, dog. That's tough.
I would
Like,
say pour one out, but that would show some degree of reverence for the company.
basically, like, on one hand, I feel bad that some people are probably going to lose their jobs slash have to find like a last
Yeah,
effort to,
but like I don't feel that bad though, because like they said in that article that they want them to like incorporate them into the company. So like
yes,
their current job they're done, but like they're gonna have work.
that's fair. But
Okay.
like I said, I kind of feel bad for them just saying, "Damn, that was so bad. I don't even want to make games no more." But at the same time, it's just like you've been seeing games routinely get shit on for how bad they are for what the last 4 or 5 years, pretty consistently. And you said you not only looked, but then you made the final decision of, "No, this is good. I like this," and then press publish. Like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to feel bad for you when you literally looked at this piece of shit and said, you know what, this should fit the standards of most gamers today? You know, no one's really gonna complain. There's only like probably 24 bugs, and the entire world and the character model itself looks like garbage, and the gameplay mechanics are garbage. But you know, I think this will do just fine. You know, it baffles me, bamboozles me that they thought that this was a good idea to release this shit. So I don't know. I guess
But it's
just
Lord of the Rings. People will sweat over it.
they sweated over it, and then they sweated it
And they
over it
did.
in anger. So yeah, it's just that
Tough.
I kind of want to say maybe you guys shouldn't give up so easily, but at the same time, just like I don't know if I want you to see you guys make another game.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see another one from them.
Just like I don't. They just had to do the bare minimum, and they would have been okay. They would have been sitting pretty at like a 5 or 6 out of 10, you know. But you know, they just kind of completely shit the bed, and then flip the bed over, then shit on it again.
That's hot.
Stop that.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say on that one.
Tough.
Games are pretty cool, huh, fellas?
Yeah,
I
cool
like
to laugh
games.
at. All you can really do is laugh at them to get any entertainment out of them these days.
I like laughing at people.
It's true.
That's fair.
I liked Critical's playthrough of it quite a bit.
That was funny. I never thought I'd see a personality on YouTube be monotone, but also be funny at the same time to watch.
Love it.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are like that.
I don't know, man.
Alright.
Let's see here.
All right, wrap it up,
Moving
boys.
on.
Next one.
Moving on to the next one. Blizzard has officially announced details on the first season of its popular loot-driven RPG, Diablo 4. The season of the Malignant launches on July 20th and will feature new quests, gear, powers, and Varshan the Consumed, a new boss just waiting to be killed and looted. Let's see here. According to Blizzard's official website, the first season of Diablo 4 will focus on a new form of Lilith's corruption that has apparently spread throughout the game's world of Sanctuary. This new corruption has created nasty beasts known as malignant monsters, aka Diablo 4 enemies, but covered in gross worms and tentacles. As always, it's up to you, brave hero, to uncover the source of the corruption and harness its twisted power to help you fight back against this new corrupting evil. Let's see here. New season scheduled once again to launch on July 20th will involve a new quest line revolving around the new corruption. Players will work with Cormond, a former priest of the Cathedral of Light, to learn why all this is happening and stop it at all costs. As you kill the new infected, corrupted enemies roaming the world of Diablo 4, you'll be able to scavenge and harness their malignant hearts. Blizzard says there will be over 30 new corruption powers unique to this system the players can use during the season, letting folks turn the evil against itself and craft entirely new overpowered builds for the characters. Let's see here. Every ring and amulet that drops during Season of Malignant will have a color-coded festering socket that can house a malignant heart of the corresponding color. They'll each have new powers and bonuses aimed at making you feel like you're crafting an entirely new Diablo 4 build for the first time again. You can even break the malignant hearts down into special currency used to craft new ones that slot into your loadout better. As part of this new update, players will also be able to explore the malignant tunnels to search for and destroy a new boss, Varshan the Consumed. Players will also be able to loot 6 new unique items and 7 legendary aspects. Let's see here. As with many other live service games such as Fortnite, Diablo 4 will feature a seasonal battle pass filled with free rewards and premium unlocks. Some of the free unlocks include a Scroll of Amnesia, which provides a free skill tree and Paragon board reset, and a new title, Eldritch Monster. The paid premium tier of the pass will include new exclusive cosmetics like armor and gear for your mounts. How you feel about that, Carter?
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I've gone on record at this point as kind of walking back all of my reservations I had about that game. It's a pretty solid foundation. I think if they can continue to not be overtly scummy with their monetization, which they really haven't been. It's not pay to win by any means. It's all cosmetic. If they can keep that formula down, I don't see any problems with it going forward.
Okay. Philip, I'm assuming that you don't even have Diablo 4, correct?
No, I do not.
Do you think it's good or bad that they're adding a battle pass in?
I don't know if I hate battle passes. I think it
I
just
don't hate them as a concept. I just hate how 90% of the people that implement them do them horribly.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel.
Okay.
Just if it's built correctly, I think you can get a lot of fun out of it and get a lot of your money's worth. But if it's just boring, if it's just there to be there,
Fair enough.
I don't really
Yeah,
care.
I mean, look at Fortnite. Like,
Fortnite's just
Granted, a lot of
having
that's like the novelty of brand recognition, but I mean, even still, it's something.
Fair. I get to run around as Thanos.
It's true, dude. What if Thanos killed Goku?
True. What if he killed Vegeta?
He could do that too.
True. So yeah, for people that are playing D4, there you go. There's a release date for you, and some new content coming to y'all in a couple weeks. So that's
I
pretty
think
cool.
that drops. I think it's like next week. I think that actually comes out like around the same time I start my vacation this month.
Starts or it launches July 20th.
Okay, day after. Yeah, day after my birthday. So yeah, like right as I'm starting
Beautiful.
vacation.
There you go. Now you got something to do.
Hell yeah. Buy myself the season pass for Diablo 4
There
for
you
my
go.
birthday.
There you go, dude.
Yeehaw.
So Carter, you were pretty attached to the development of Beyond Good and Evil 2 and stuff. Why don't you tell us about the sudden passing of the creative director?
Yeah, I wouldn't say attached, but it's definitely something I've been interested in. The first one's a pretty well beloved game, and yeah, I don't know, it's pretty fun. Um, find it here, God. You are jumping around these fucking articles tonight.
Got to keep you on your toes.
Like I guess. But yeah, Emile Morel, the now former creative director for Beyond Good and Evil 2, has passed away at the age of 40. He has worked with the company, or had worked with the company since 2009. Um, this announcement was originally spotted by IGN on LinkedIn, where two individuals that worked with Morale made tributes on the website. One of them stated, quote, a cherished colleague for over a decade at Ubisoft Montpellier. We laughed and wept through good times and bad and shipped a lot of great games together. Emil was so very proud of Beyond Good and Evil 2 and the Space Monkeys. Beyond Good and Evil 2, the Space Monkeys, and his teammates, he will be sorely missed. I'm not 100% familiar with the Space Monkeys, but he did work on a good amount of projects in his time with the company, including Rayman Legends, where senior game designer, which if you know anything about Rayman Legends, is fucking fantastic at what he did. He had been involved initially in Beyond Good and Evil 2, servicing as the associate creative director before taking over as the main creative director following the departure of the last person. So yeah, I don't know, not a ton to say there, but the man was a very good artist and fantastic at what he did. So
Fair enough.
pour one out
Rest
to
in
one of the last
peace.
homies that knew what Rayman was. So
Knew what a good game was.
goddamn right. Play Rayman Legends. It's like $5 everywhere now, and it's fucking fantastic. You can get it for so cheap, and it's so good.
Fair.
Just get a taste of what that man did.
Let's see. Moving on to the next article, which would be okay. Power Wash Simulator is apparently getting some new DLC for you to clean up on.
Not getting it got.
Sorry. Let's see here. The rise of 2022's Power Wash Simulator is everything that's right with video games. It's a game about washing the dirt off stuff, delivered with absolute sincerity and extremely well made. It got me through a horrible bout of COVID as I meticulously scrubbed every fleck of dirt from adventure playgrounds and country mansions, and rightly became a huge hit, which makes it all the better that its post-release additions have leaned in. And today, developers Future Lab have revealed plans for much more to come in 2023. The first update back in January was completely free addition of 5 brand new levels in the world set in the world of Tomb Raider. You can clean up the front of Croft Manor. You can scrub down the obstacle course, and it was delivered with equally as straight a face as the main game. Then in March came a bundle of free Final Fantasy themed areas. Last week we saw its first paid DLC was naturally based in SpongeBob SquarePants. Today, Future Lab has laid out their roadmap for the rest of the year, and while it is quite frustratingly vague, it does give me an all-important opportunity to post a teaser for its Warhammer 40k crossover. That's the farthest
Hell
away
yeah.
inclusion in the roadmap. However, it seems we have much to look forward to before even then. Let's see here. What we've learned from their tweet is that there's to be another paid DLC due to appear in Q3, along with more from what the game calls the Muckingham Files. The title it gave to a slew of free new content added in the 1.2 update back in April. The following Following that, toward the end of the year, Future Lab is promising even more free seasonal content, which of course means Christmassy cleaning. So yeah, I'm sure Carter is just fucking ecstatic for that.
Listen, man, you're only shitting on me because you haven't played it yet. Power
Listen, I
Wash
ain't
Simulator
shitting on you.
is
I enjoy washing my car.
unironically a fantastic game. And it's also at its current trajectory, it is set to potentially be one of the greatest gaming crossovers we've had since Smash Bros. Or Fortnite. Just with the amount of fucking star power it seemingly already has.
Goddamn.
You read the fucking list. It's got two incredibly well beloved gaming franchises. It was arguably like the most important cartoon of the 21st century.
True. I'll give you that.
And it's only been like fully released for about a year.
Whoever those developers and those fucking suits are, they doing their work. They
Like
doing the
it's
work.
it's so it's so malleable as far as like, because yeah, you can have like a crazy ass fucking thing like, oh, let's clean up a Warhammer 40k event, which is just an insane concept to me. But then it's also like tame enough of a game that they can also sit there and be like, yeah, it's just a fun little trip through Bikini Bottom. And you don't really bat an eye at either instance. It's just like fucking, you're there with your pressure washer and you hose whatever's there down. End of story.
Fair enough. Speaking of which, is it on sale right now?
It should be. I believe it is. I think it's like 20 or 25.
Just $20. $20.
So there you go. If you want a fun little game. And then the SpongeBob DLC is its first paid one. The Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy stuff are free. SpongeBob DLC is $5. No, excuse me, $8.
Yes. Very nice.
So
How about you, Philip? You pick up Power Washer Simulator yet?
Not my cup of tea.
I think you need to practice, dog. You don't know how to wash your car in real life.
damn.
Talk all that shit you want. Not my cup of tea. Not my thing.
Man.
But if you are, it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. 97% after 33,000 reviews. So I don't know, if you're looking for a chill little game that's just like literally you just turn it on, throw on a podcast, watch something in the background, whatever the fuck you want to do. It's so
That's
much fun.
fair. I
It's
just
so much fun.
I don't know. I don't want to clean in fake life. Like if I'm gonna clean, I might as well do it in real life.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
someone's got to start somewhere, and you don't like to clean your car in real life, so got to start
You
somewhere,
guys,
no?
I'm gonna need you guys
No.
to stop attacking each other.
Listen, I
I,
don't get to talk to Philip all too much, all right? I
don't
gotta
even know
talk shit while
why.
I can.
I don't even know why you said each other. Like I was doing anything.
I mean, that's
Supposed to be
fair.
Isaiah.
Listen, I
Should have
gotta
said
poke at him.
Isaiah. Why do you
It's
keep
supposed to be.
attacking, bro?
I have to poke at you. I don't get to talk to you all too often.
Yeah, poke at him, not stab him.
Same difference.
It's not.
But yeah, so some pretty cool DLC coming out for a Game of the Year contender. Was it a Game of the Year contender last year? Or am
It
I
was up
making
for
that
a
up?
couple categories, but not like the big game of the year. No,
Okay.
I think it had like best indie game or maybe a couple. It was up for something I remember, but
I see. But nonetheless, solid game for a solid price with some solid DLC. What could be better? Um, let's see here. Moving on to the next one. So apparently, Persona 6 has a bit more leakage, apparently. So a leaker who previously shared info about Persona 3 Reloaded and Persona 5 Tactica before they were announced has claimed that Persona 6's codename is Carbon and that they've only seen it running on a PS5 so far. It's been an exciting couple of months for Persona fans thanks to the leaking and subsequent announcements of said games that we just announced. And Atlas' new fantasy RPG Metaphor Refantasio. As great as those two reveals were, most fans are keeping one hopeful eye open for the news on the sixth mainline entry in the series, which has been rumored for some time but has yet to be officially announced by Sega.
no,
While
it hasn't. They've totally officially announced that.
did
I
they?
gotta stop pulling shit from Kotaku, man. They have totally confirmed that they're working on Persona 6. That's not a secret.
Oh, why are they lying?
I agree. Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Well, we got to trigger you at least a couple times a
I just
podcast.
like it's so easy to find the source where they were like, yes, this is an active development.
Jesus, that's too much work, my guy.
I
They're a
guess.
news
I don't know.
site, okay?
Keep going.
Anyways, while Atlas seemingly isn't ready to pull back the curtain on the next Persona game, that hasn't stopped details on it being leaked out. Earlier today, Twitter user MBKKSSTBHZ5, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that as an actual word, who previously shared info on the Persona 3 and Persona 5 games before they were officially revealed, has shared a thread of new leaks for Persona 6 that gives us a good idea of how the project is shaping up. First thing that this user claims is that the next game in the series is going to be rather different from the rest because it's being developed by a team that is mostly new to the series. They also claim that the best description for Persona 6 is that it is Persona 3 Reloaded and spin-offs that come together, I guess. As the team on Reload and the spin-offs are also working on the next big game. That might ring alarm bells for some Persona fans, but the user later clarified that they were referring to the presentation, which still sounds a bit confusing. According to them, Persona 6 is following a new development structure for Atlas that started with Persona 3 Reload, and the spin-off art team also working on the sixth entry. One of the most interesting things to come from the leaks is that Persona 6 is currently codenamed Carbon, which would make sense considering carbon is the sixth element on the periodic table. That's kind of random, but okay. And that, although the user isn't certain on exclusivity right now due to publisher deals, they've currently only seen it running on the PS5, which could suggest that it's not coming to other consoles. This seems somewhat unlikely considering the expanded relationship between Atlas and Microsoft as of late, but we've certainly seen weirder decisions made. Although the question of exclusivity remains, if these leaks are true, it does seem that Atlas has a clear release goal in mind for Persona 6. The user claims that they don't think the game is too far off since Atlas has a release window in mind and that it's going to be officially announced alongside another spinoff at some point next year. That was a whole lot of words to say very little. So, how do you feel about it possibly being a Sony exclusive, guys? What? What'd you say?
He said, my ass was over here sleeping.
Stop that. It's your day off. Stay awake. Chug a fucking monster like you used to.
Yeah. Do it. Shotgun a Red Bull right now.
Right now.
don't
I want to
have
hear
a
that.
Red Bull.
For the fans.
Yeah.
I don't have any energy drinks.
That's surprising.
Oh,
I was expecting your ass to have like an
Snort.
entire cupboard full of them. Or some Coke,
Hey,
one of the
So
two.
line of G Fuel.
Hey man, I've cut back on all the sody pops and stuff.
Is it because you pour like the rest of us, or is it because you're actually trying to better your health?
It's because when I buy soda pop for myself, I drink maybe like 3 a week. But when I was
Fuck you
buying
mean
and there was,
poor like the rest of us?
but when I was buying like with Diedrich and his girl in the house, I was like, damn, why is there 11 cans gone in the next day? Like, what the fuck? And so
Fucking
at some
piece of
point, I was
shit.
like, the amount of money starting to get overwhelming. So I just slowed down, started buying water and juice,
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I always buy Powerade and Propels. But
You know what? I'm okay with those to an extent, but you gotta uptake that water intake, my guy. You feel me?
Poor like the rest of
oh yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah.
You need to stay hydrated the right way.
I do be drinking my
Fucking
water.
ignore me.
That's the first thing I drink when I get to work. When I go to work, go get a cup of water,
Hell yeah. Let's
down that
go.
motherfucker, because I know I'm tired.
Damn straight. Even though water isn't gonna
Isaiah's
really help you
dodging
with
the
your
important
tiredness.
questions.
No. It's just gonna give me like a start to my day. That's energy.
Alright, fair enough.
Should never start your day with a goddamns.
See?
Yeah.
He's gonna ignore me and then say he didn't hear me.
What
I'm sorry,
what what?
Yeah, see, you're doing it right now.
I don't know what you said.
I'm calling you out. You said you asked him if he stopped drinking pop because he's poor like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Fuck
I
do you
am.
mean?
I am
Yeah.
poor.
We all pour out here.
I'm not poor. I
We
do
all pour
well.
out here.
I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm chilling.
He's being chilling.
whatever.
I have enough to enjoy myself.
Fair enough.
Bars, dude.
Gotta do what you can, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see here. Why don't we leave our local DC mega fan Markov's portrait tell us about Zack Snyder's Star Wars pitch being shot down.
Hell yeah, bro. The sad part is this sounds infinitely more interesting than any Star Wars project since Disney took over. Um, Zack Snyder's Star Wars pitch was shot down for being R-rated and lacking existing characters.
I was hoping there was gonna be, new characters. Nah.
Well, that's what it says. Zack Snyder's original pitch for Rebel Moon as a Star Wars movie faced obstacles due to its lack of pre-existing characters and a potential R rating, according to Empire magazine. Excuse me. In a new review, Snyder revealed that in the end, he wound up having a stronger desire to develop a standalone story. In the interview, Snyder reaffirmed that, quote, a Star Wars movie, end quote, was his initial concept for Rebel Moon, adding, quote, it was seven samurai in space. I knew that the origins for George Lucas were a lot of those Kurosawa films, end quote. Shortly after Disney acquired Lucasfilm, Snyder presented his pitch acknowledging the significant challenges associated with his idea. Snyder explained, quote, I don't want any of your characters. I don't want to do anything with any known characters. I just want to do my own thing on the side, end quote. Recognizing that his proposition was a big ask, Snyder also noted, quote, originally I was like, it should be a rated R. That was almost a non-starter, end quote. Consequently, Rebel Moon found a home at Netflix as a space opera. Snyder shared his realization during the interview, stating, quote, but the deeper I got, I realized it was probably never going to be what I wanted, end quote. The, the narrative follows a young woman tasked with finding warriors to defend her peaceful colony from an impending invasion led by the despotic regent Balisarius. Among the actors involved are Sophia Boutella, Charlie Hunnam, Jaimin Huns. There's people in this movie. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna slaughter any of the rest of those names,
You
which
should
is
do it.
inevitably what's gonna happen if I keep going. Initially conceived as a single film, Rebel Moon expanded into a 172-page draft, prompting Netflix and Snyder to divide the project into two separate movies. The first installment is slated for release on December 22nd. Snyder also revealed his plans to offer two versions of each film, one for a wider audience and another with more explicit content tailored to adult viewers. So, there you go. It's kind of a bummer because, in theory, despite both Star Wars and Zack Snyder films being stagnant over the last decade, it really sounds like that could be really cool.
True. I would actually be, intrigued enough to actually watch this.
Right.
Wait. Wait, so it's still coming out?
Yeah, it's just like initially when he wrote the pitch, like wrote the script, he wrote it as like a Star Wars story
Oh, I
or
see.
like set in the Star Wars universe. But then he tried to sell it to Lucasfilm, and they said no.
I see.
So
I see. Okay.
now it's just a regular old space movie
Space. Guess we'll
about
see how it
space.
does.
Oh man, the Star Wars version would have been pretty dope.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
I would have liked them to, expand on their side lore, but then you remember, wait, Disney didn't think that would sell, so it just said delete. That
Yep.
don't exist in canon no more.
Yep.
Sadness.
It is a
And it's
sadness.
hilarious how they've been walking that back further and further every year.
Yeah. We'll see how many years Star Wars lasts as a beloved franchise before, Disney plummets it to the ground.
About 3 was how long that lasted. About 3.
Shit. But yeah, I guess I'm actually curious to see what this movie will be like. So I'll probably take a gander at it when it comes out on Netflix.
Was that on
Um,
Netflix? I don't got that no more.
I'm
Damn.
probably gonna cancel mine soon, but I think Amber still has hers.
I stopped paying because they're charging me an arm and a leg, and they can go suck a dick.
True.
Damn.
It's
Netflix
like
sponsor us.
I think I have to pay like $20 a month right now.
I was paying
Yeah,
like
it's about 20.
25.
Maybe it's 25 now.
I was paying about 25, and then they did that thing where it's like your home account or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my grandma also had it, so they were gonna charge, it says, an extra $7.99, even though I'm already paying 25. And then my aunt in Mexico had it too, so it was gonna be another $7.99. I was like, y'all pushing it.
I'm pulling out.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't. I
done.
stopped. I told grandma, I was like, I can't pay for it no more. It's too expensive.
Yeah, fuck that. I'd rather just get cable at that point.
Yeah.
But
Facts.
but yeah, so we shall I'm curious to see what this movie will be like. So moving on to more DC related shit. Why don't you tell us about this fucking Harley Quinn Suicide Squad anime, Carter? I'm
Yeah,
sure
dude,
you're
this
gonna
looks
gush
fucking
about
awesome
this
as
shit.
shit. I will. It looks awesome as shit. So Suicide Squad is getting an isekai made by Warner Brothers Japan and WIT Studios, who are known for Attack on Titan, I believe. While James Gunn is preparing to reboot the DC Superman legacy, there are still unconnected titles to be excited about, particularly in animation. Um, My Adventures in Superman, which actually just came out this last week on Adult Swim, and I've heard pretty good stuff. Um, while My Adventures with Superman aims to deliver a shoujo anime version of Steel, Warner Brothers Japan is ready to unveil an entirely original anime made that takes DC characters to a whole new world, literally. During a panel at Anime Expo 2023, Warner Bros. Japan and WIT Studio unveiled a brand new anime series titled Suicide Squad Isekai, literally translated as Suicide Squad Different World. Excuse me. Isekai has quickly exploded to become one of the biggest, most prominent, and popular genres within anime in the last decade. The genre usually involves a protagonist who is usually a pretty normal person getting transported to a fantasy world full of wonderful and dangerous creatures and powers. Western fans aren't entirely unfamiliar with the genre, with titles like Alice in Wonderland and The Chronicles of Narnia essentially serving as isekai, throwing their characters into another strange and magical world. Though details are scarce at the moment, we do know the show is not connected to James Gunn and Peter Safran's upcoming DC reboot, with WI2 Studio CEO George Wada asking the audience to call Gunn and tell him to watch the show. Moreover, it was announced that Jujutsu Kaisen chief anime director Iri Osada will direct Suicide Squad Isekai, while Taipei Nagatsuki and Eiji Umehara will handle the writing. Nagatsuki and Umehara are no strangers to the isekai genre, having handled the script for ReZero starting life in another world. A brief trailer revealed to audiences at the panel showed the very stylized 2D visuals for the anime, with Harley and Joker rampaging through the streets of Gotham, wreaking bloody havoc before cutting to a fantasy world with huge dragons and giant pig mutants. In other words, this is most definitely an isekai. What's more, Osada, who hit the stage dressed as Katana, said that they got the, quote, express permission from DC to have the characters use magic, end quote. And yes, Harley and Joker will lead the show. Osada made it a point to highlight that their different version, Osada made it a point to highlight that their version of Joker will be different. Quote, everybody has their favorite version of Joker, Osada said. We ultimately decided to not copy any particular iteration and have something completely unique, end quote.
All right. So
That'll
that
be pretty
sounds
hype.
cool as shit.
It sounds cool as shit. The trailer is also awesome. I don't believe there's a set release date or anything like that yet, but if you want to check out the trailer, it looks fucking crazy. I can't wait to watch this.
That goes to everyone that's watching currently as well. Like always, all of the links for the articles that we discuss will be in the description down below. I usually put them in tiny URLs, otherwise the fucking what you call it just gets bloated with random like web addresses and shit. So I just condense them down. All you should have to do is just copy paste and it should work. But yeah, no. This definitely sounds interesting. I'm probably going to take a look at this trailer too once the podcast episode is over. But yeah, no. I also seen a snippet of that Man of Steel. I seen people were getting pissed off because it looked like they gave Superman the Flash like particle effects or some shit. And I'm just kind of like,
He's
or
literally had Flash super speed since the dawn of time, like before Flash.
yeah. Well, not only that, but it's just like creative expression on showing how fast he's going. It's just like I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah,
Y'all are just complaining just to complain at this point.
basically.
So, speaking of anime, motherfucking Jobless Reincarnation got season 2. I think that got released today or yesterday, one of the two. Jujutsu Kaisen second season started up, I think, today or yesterday. Let's see. Bleach started back up with 1,000 Year Blood War Part 2 as well. And I think there's one other anime that kicked off again. So there is all of that. I still need to watch Demon Slayer as well.
Demon Slayer was good.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer is pretty good.
Yeah, I need
Waiting
to.
for
I'll
season 2
ruin
of
it for you
Chainsaw
right
Man.
now. No,
What'd you say, Philip?
I'll ruin it for you right now.
Don't fucking do it.
It was good though. You should watch it.
So yeah.
Hell's Paradise, man. I'm keeping up with that one.
What about Paradise?
Hell's Paradise.
Oh, I've heard shit about that as well, actually.
That one's good.
So
Looking for me.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Moving on to kind of depressing news, like actually 3 or 4 articles in a row. Well, why don't we talk about some Halo Infinite? You know, we haven't shit on Halo Infinite in a while.
Can we not talk about them?
Oh no, we gotta.
No, it'll be great, man. You'll love it.
It'll be funny. So, according to Game Rant, since Halo Infinite has released, it has lost about 98% of its initial player base on Steam ever since its multiplayer component launched in November of 2021. Although the multiplayer launch of Halo Infinite was deemed a success, the game's long-term future on both PC and Xbox is being questioned once more by long-term Halo fans. Halo Infinite was originally intended to be an Xbox Series X/S launch title in 2020, but more development time was needed to fulfill Xbox and 343 Industries' vision for the title, even though it still fell flat for everyone else outside of their companies. The multiplayer component would eventually launch as an open beta on November 15th of 2021, followed by the full release of Halo Infinite on December 8th of the same year. Halo Infinite's multiplayer and campaign modes were received positively by critics and fans during its initial launch window, but players grew concerned over the immediate future of the multiplayer mode. Halo Infinite's first season ended in May 2022. And some fans believe their criticism of the game was not remedied by updates and seasons that followed. Let's see. Halo fan Full Plastic 7324 recently posted an image from Steam's database player charts, revealing that roughly 98% of the total player base on Steam no longer plays the game. Although Halo Infinite had a total of 272,000 users during its all-time peak, Steam database charts shows that only 5,700 users were recently playing the game. The 24-hour peak has since increased to 6,100, but the total concurrent number of players has dropped even further to just 3,800 as of this writing. This drop-off means that roughly 2% of the overall player base remains, and some Halo Infinite players are frustrated by what this could entail for the future. Some members of the Halo Infinite community blame 343 Industries' approach to live service gaming, as do I, as the main reason for the game's decline. For example, players note their monetization practices may have turned newcomers away from the game. Moreover, some Halo fans believe the lack of meaningful new features and maps drove the most devoted players away from Halo Infinite, leading to the drop-off in player count. Although the drop-off does not represent directly the player base on Xbox platforms, it may be indicative of an overall dwindling player base for the game. The Steam player drop-off is a concerning sign for Halo Infinite and future updates, despite Microsoft and 343's original 10-year content plan for the game. That's not happening. The community appears to be disappointed since Halo Infinite's issues overshadow its fun gameplay mechanics for many players. So yeah. Can I say that this is surprising for the drop-off? No. In fact, I thought that the player base would drop off a lot fucking quicker than this. The fact that it lasted almost 2 years is pretty impressive, actually. I did not expect that. How about you guys?
I
Yeah,
agree.
I would agree with that. Especially for a free-to-play FPS game from a AAA franchise like that, it is fucking abysmal to see this happen. Just in general, like I've got on record with how disappointed I've been in the multiplayer because it does have a very solid foundation, especially as far as AAA shooters are concerned. But the fact that there's just been no support for the last year and a half, I don't know. They did it to themselves.
True.
Yep.
True. And honestly, I don't know if there's really much that they can do about it either. It's just unlucky.
Tough.
Quite true. All I can say is I hope in that 10-year plan they plan on completely revamping how the battle passes work, outside of like being able to complete them at your own pace. I hope that they find a way to, or I hope that they start actually including player created maps again into not only social Slayer playlists but also possibly even ranked. They typically stick to like 3 lanes, but it shouldn't be too hard. There's just a lot of things that they could just literally copy over in terms of practice from Bungie back in the older days, and the game would probably turn around. It will be slow, but I mean, it would happen. That's really all there is to it. Like I don't understand why it's so hard for them to just admit that they were they need a little bit of guidance to their from their predecessors. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to tell them.
Fair.
Because I think most people, like most competitive players, most casual players, most big streamers, were literally telling them what they had to do to make either the game bounce back or make it have a severe or like a longevity type of thing going on. But they just said, "Nah, fuck that. We got our own plans and it'll work." And clearly, it's not. Because the only time that I should be seeing a drop off like this is on a Call of Duty title. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah. You got any other thoughts, Carter? Philip?
Microsoft needs a win.
True.
Man, they need to figure it out. Who knows? Maybe it'll come back around
It,
the year 6 or something like
yeah, maybe.
that.
It fascinates me that a studio whose single purpose was to be created to make more Halo has done nothing but tarnish the franchise more and more since their
It's
title.
pretty impressive.
Exactly.
And still getting paid for it too, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's fucking. I wish I could just go in and demolish a beloved childhood franchise.
And then just say, oopsie daisies. Well, we'll try again
Like,
on the next one.
give me the keys to Katamari and I'll just make it a fucking gritty 2010 first person shooter.
Yeah. Should be easy enough, right?
It'll be fine.
So yeah. Moving on to, let's see. A quick little Microsoft related tidbit is apparently, actually I shouldn't be saying apparently because I'm honestly not surprised. According to IGN, Microsoft considered adding Final Fantasy publisher Square Enix to the Xbox Game Studio family, a new internal document revealed as part of the evidentiary hearing between Microsoft and the Federal Trade Commission. According to this new document from 2019, wait, I could have swore I heard something about this a few years ago. About how they were
It was a
thought.
rumor a few years ago.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily brand new news because I could have swore a few years
Well,
back
it's
we heard.
confirming the rumor.
That's fair. Let's see here. The new document from 2019 submitted as evidence as part of the hearings. Microsoft listed several reasons why it should acquire Square Enix. This included bolstering Xbox's presence in Asian markets and providing access to Square Enix's portfolio of games such as Kingdom Hearts, Dragon Quest, and Final Fantasy. These franchises would drive the adoption of Xbox Game Pass and Project Scarlet, one of the previous code names for the fourth generation of Xbox consoles, Microsoft said. More interestingly, the document reveals that another reason Xbox should buy Square Enix is it would have provided mobile segment growth for Xbox. Microsoft said buying Square Enix would have helped future mobile exclusive Game Pass offerings. Game Pass is currently available, obviously, on Xbox and PC, with games playable on mobile via the cloud. While Microsoft's presence on mobile is minimal, Square Enix has what Xbox described as a robust mobile native portfolio. It is unclear how far Microsoft took its interest in Square Enix. While the document reveals a strategy approval plan, we do not know how far up the Microsoft chain it managed to climb, or if contact was made with Square Enix in the first place. What if any, or as if any response was made. However, in the context of recent high-profile PlayStation exclusive Square Enix releases, such as Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy XVI, it's a case of what might have been. Square Enix is not the only big publisher Microsoft considered buying. A separate internal document from Xbox revealed the company also considered Sega, IO Interactive, and Bungie, among several others, as it looked to fill content gaps. I don't really have much to say about this except for I'm not surprised they were considering buying more studios. Because didn't they buy Bethesda back in like 2020 or some shit like that?
Yeah, I think so. 2020, 2021.
Yeah, so I mean, this just seems more like a list of like publishers they would be interested in buying, and then they just went with a couple. That's it. So, although I am kind of laughing that Square Enix got passed over and they got Bethesda instead.
Oh, I don't know. If you ask most kids our age, what are they more stoked on, Final Fantasy or Skyrim?
Honestly, I don't know.
Or Fallout? Or Doom? Like, I don't know. Like, Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy, but get a lot of fucking name power behind Elder Scrolls, Doom,
True.
Prey. There's a lot of Fallout. There's a lot of big names behind that versus Square, which is
I
don't
guess
know,
that
for
is true.
lack
Square
of a better
Enix's
word.
biggest flagship is Final Fantasy. That's all they got, really.
Nah, man, they made that really cool Avengers game.
Uh, they made Tomb Raider, I suppose,
Oh, they bought the people that made Tomb Raider.
but that's fair.
I guess they made the recent ones that weren't.
But, but yeah. So, little bit of bonus info for you guys on what Microsoft has been scheming the past few years. A little bit of I don't even know what to make of this. So, um, let's see here. While coming across the occasional player more intent on griefing others than enjoying the game is an uncommon occurrence in Battlefield, some gamers are calling for EA and developer ICE to take action as a Battlefield streamer enters into their 10th month of being subjected to a targeted harassment campaign by stream snipers. Earlier this month, DICE released Update 5.0.1 for Battlefield 2042, bringing some drastic balance changes to some fan favorite weapons in the multiplayer shooter. Standing as one of the most contentious entries in EA and DICE's long-running shooter franchise, Battlefield 2042 was released for PC and consoles in late 2021 to a markedly mixed reception. I don't know if it was mixed. I think it was mainly just like this game sucks ass. Although the game was praised for its gorgeous graphics and massive maps, many longtime Battlefield players criticized the introduction of specialist characters in place of more traditional class-based archetypes from previous entries. A steady stream of post-launch content for 2042 has helped win over some once skeptical players since release, and after EA delisted several Battlefield games, there have been few other ways for franchise fans to get their fix. A new post on Twitter by the Gamer Update host Jake Lucky has highlighted the vicious targeted harassment campaign that one Battlefield 2042 streamer has been subjected to for nearly a year. Remarkably talented 2042 helicopter pilot streamer Ash BF has been the victim of stream snipers who will sometimes fill entire lobbies in an attempt to harass him. One incredible clip, which can be viewed on the link / article, sees Ash BF deftly avoiding numerous helicopters, jets, and ground-based stream snipers before eventually being eliminated. Although the piloting skills on display are impressive, some of the lengths the stream snipers have gone to in order to harass him are truly shocking. A follow-up tweet provided more background about the harassment campaign that HBF has been subjected to, highlighting one particularly dark tactic used by the stream snipers. In a short video clip, HBF explains that he had a close personal friend and fellow player who died by suicide last year. Seizing on this unfortunate loss to rattle the streamer, one harasser changed their in-game screen name to that of the deceased friend in a recent match. As other players dive into the new content in 2042 Season 5, the streamer just wants to be able to play the game in peace. The tweets explaining the situation call on EA and DICE to take action against ongoing harassment, but with the Battlefield developers facing harassment of their own at the moment, it's unclear if anything will be done to stop it. For now, at least, it looks like AshBF will continue to be targeted by some of the internet's worst elements. Well, that sucks. Also tough. I honestly don't really know what EA and or DICE can even do about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't think they can do anything about this. Like, they already have player reporting shit in the game, but it's just like, what does that last? Maybe a
but
couple days?
to be able to report it to the extent that it's happening.
That's what I'm saying. That even, like, let's just assume that it was just like half a dozen people or whatever. It's just like, they get banned for what? Maybe a couple days? Before, you know, they get unbanned and then they get to come back and do it. Now multiply this by like 12 to 13 times, possibly even more, because I have no idea how big this streamer is, and it becomes like an impossible task. There's just
big enough to have 256 player lobbies completely there to harass it.
damn straight. It's just like, at that point, bro, I don't even know if the game's worth fucking playing. I'm gonna be honest.
Nah.
Like, in my opinion, my cutoff would have been one of them changing their names to my friend that passed away due to suicide.
Yeah, that's straight fucked.
Like at that point, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna find a different game to play, guys. Like that can't be enjoyable to watch either.
No.
Just constantly seeing the streamer that you want to come by and hang out with or whatever, just constantly in a bad mood, which I can't blame him, but because he's in a bad mood due to people just fucking with him constantly. At that point, I'd rather just go to a game that has a bigger population and it's harder for them to stream snipe me.
Man should jump on the battle bit crazy.
I am kind
That would
of
be like a really good idea for them, actually.
I'm actually kind of curious as to why he's being harassed so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like a joke that went too far without having any more context. Not that there is, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I
Like
don't know what
I
the
might have to
full
look this
extent of the
up
story is beyond this article.
because I want to know if like maybe this person made some sort of mistake back in the past and he basically just got boogied tonight or like boogied or he got fucking Wings of Redemption and just like he just
Yeah.
gets endless fucking like endless harassment because of those few mistakes or whatever. So, I hope this guy moves on from Battlefield, or at least for now. And I would hope that he starts actually enjoying streaming again because I can't imagine he enjoys it right now. So
Yeah, man should just play BattleBit.
yeah, just play BattleBit.
It's a better game anyway.
True. Um. So yeah. Um. Rest in pepperonis. Ash BF. I hope you find peace, my guy. Moving on to more Diablo shit. I actually forgot about this article. So, Carter, why don't you tell us about the troll goblin that's been killing people even though it can't attack?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Where's it at? There we go. Another article from IGN. Beware the Diablo 4 treasure goblin, which cannot attack but is killing hardcore characters anyways. The treasure goblin is not meant to instill fear in the hearts and minds of its Diablo 4 players. It is, after all, an enemy that spits out loot and cannot attack. And yet, players across Sanctuary have a newfound fear of the unassuming demon raft character. Let's start with the Diablo 4 player, Kilthazad. Icy Veins reported this hardcore character unexpectedly died to a treasure goblin while running a tier 37 nightmare dungeon.
Oh my.
Stunned into silence, Kilthazad had no option but to return to the character creation screen. They got up from their chair and put their head in their hands. What happened here? Kilthazad had the Death Pulse affix enabled. This means that killing a monster releases a deadly lightning pulse after a short delay. Watching the clip included in the article carefully, you'll see the Death Pulse emits from the dead treasure goblin killing the... Let's not forget, in Diablo, when a hardcore character dies, it is lost forever. It has been previously reported on multiple high-level... Now treasure goblins are getting... Kilthazad is not alone. Some players believe the treasure goblin is way more bugged. Diablo 4 player Faradox took to the Blizzard forum to report 60 hardcore 9 nightmares. They state, quote, I had more than enough damage and armor to take anything. All previous explosions from Death Pulse effects caused almost no harm. In the last room of this section, I saw a goblin. There were no other monsters nearby. One monster left for the task. No other marks on my minimap. I had full life and fortify since I did not take any damage fighting Goblin. As soon as he died, my druid...
That's
End
tilting.
quote. Faradox also said Diablo 4's Hall of Fallen Heroes, which documents lost hardcore characters, states they were slain by an, quote, unknown killer. Another player, called Chill Out, said they lost their level 76 necromancer after a treasure goblin died with a tier 26 nightmare. They stated, quote, I'm a casual player and losing 86 hours to bug is bad.
It's bad, he says.
Mithy Zena recorded the shocking moment they lost their level 97 druid to a death pulse from a treasure goblin.
Oh boy.
I can't believe how much damage that did, Zena said in the clip. Is that a bug? That's gotta be a bug, right? I'm so confused right now. It's just the death pulse. All I did was kill the goblin. It says I killed myself. So I have some questions for Blizzard.
I just want to talk to him.
There are multiple reports online from players who suffered the same fate. Blizzard has issued a number of patches since Diablo 4 came out. Perhaps the hotfix will force the treasure goblins to calm down a bit.
Oh boy.
What do you guys think of that?
I'm glad that I
Crazy
don't
ass
have a
thing.
Diablo 4 hardcore character.
No shit.
Because I can promise you right now, if I had a character anywhere near those levels and I died to a bug, I would not be getting on that game again for months.
Yeah, same.
That's fair.
As a person who gets like maybe 2-3 hours like on a good day to play games, give or take,
Mm-hmm.
like that's a lot of game days worth of game time to just lose in an instant, not even due to my mistake or to being overwhelmed by a mob, but simply being killed by a fucking bug. That's
By a treasure god.
that's a bit much. So it's a bit much. So what about you, Philip?
That sounds trash.
Philip, what would your
That
reaction
sounds
be?
terrible. I wouldn't, if I played Diablo, I'd probably make a hardcore character because games like this is where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try, and
Oh yeah, for sure.
and it'll take me a bajillion years to do it. And if I ever got to that one point where I died to that, I'd definitely just be like, you know what, I'm not playing this game no
Damn straight.
Go download Power Wash Simulator.
more.
Probably be the day we'd see him do it. He's just like, I'd rather
He would.
clean than play this shit anymore.
He would. I'd help him.
There we go. You found the perfect trigger card, and now you just need to get him to play Diablo 4.
Hey, bro. I mean, I got to start a second character for season. Picked up a secondary yet, so.
True. So yeah. I feel bad for the peoples that got put on the statue of fallen heroes because of an oopsie daisy by Blizzard. It sucks even more that Blizzard, like by policy or by principle, they can't just restore your character due to the bug. So if I was y'all, I would just quit the game. At least for now. That's all I gotta say about it. So
Yeah.
let's see. What else we got here? Another little tidbit we got here is according to Games Radar, Elder Scrolls 6 is taking a historically long time. By the time the 6th installment likely releases in the same amount of time, if not more, enough time will have passed between its launch and Skyrim's as Skyrim and the beginning of the entire Elder Scrolls series. So another way to put it is, by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, the time frame between Skyrim and the very first Elder Scrolls game is how long it took to make the 6th game, is what they're saying. If you're
Yeah.
unfamiliar, because hey, it was a long time ago, the Elder Scrolls series all began with Arena back in 1994. That's a hell of a long time. So long ago that Bethesda was known for purely developing sports games at the time, never having even set foot into the RPG territory. Fast forward 17 years, and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim debuts in 2011. There were just 2 years between the first two Elder Scrolls games, but the cadence of the releases dropped off after that, with Morrowind arriving in 2003 and Oblivion launching 4 years after that in 2000. But that's not 4 years, my God, that's 3. the intriguing part is Elder Scrolls 6 is nowhere near release, even though it's been over 5 years since it was announced. In fact, Elder Scrolls 6 is still so far from launch that Xbox boss Phil Spencer isn't even sure which platforms it'll launch on. With that being said, a 2028 launch for the Elder Scrolls 6 is looking pretty conservative, if anything. Bethesda is full steam ahead for Starfield's launch in September, and after that, it'll surely be quashing bugs and releasing DLC for years. Elder Scrolls 6 was probably just a sticky note on Todd Howard's desk when it was announced, and it's probably still looking that way 5 years later. This all leads us to the wild scenario where the gap between Skyrim and the first Elder Scrolls may be shorter than the wait for the follow-up to Skyrim. Bethesda obviously worked on a lot of other games in that time, but if this isn't an indictment of how just egregious video game development timelines and budgets have become, I don't know what is. How you feel about that, Philip?
I don't know. Indifferent.
You're indifferent?
Damn.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6 is dead, confirmed. That's what they're telling you.
I don't know,
That's-
man. I think you're better off just fucking hedging your bets and playing Elder Scrolls Online if you can.
Quite true, honestly.
Let's go online. I'm not fan.
God knows that. Well, no, but like even by the time Elder Scrolls 6 does come out, fucking, it probably won't have as much content as ESO does. They're turning out expansions yearly for that.
Yeesh. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Elder Scrolls 6. I feel like they've taken a long time every single time, and I just kind of like forget about it. And then one day, the day will come when they're like, ah, "Look at this! It's coming out in 6 months," and I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah, but
I
like,
thought that was a
I don't know.
rumor. It was an
I'm
urban
more worried
legend.
about- I'm more worried about Fallout at this point because Todd Howard himself has come out and said they're not doing another Fallout game until ESO 6 comes out or Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Oh, that's
Fair.
unfortunate.
So that's the part that bums me out.
That's so unlucky. I'll just go back to play. I'll just go through Fallout New Vegas fully for the first time ever. It's fine.
Yeah, man, got that game
You
for
need to fucking
free.
play New Vegas, dude.
I got New Vegas for free, man.
Yeah.
True, Epic Games.
Yeah, the games.
Fucking but yeah, it's just like it Elder Scrolls 6 is just gonna become a meme at this point. It's fine.
It already is.
It'll become an urban legend / meme. It'll become legend like Destiny.
You know what I bet it is? I bet because do you remember that whole Skyrim giveaway thing that they did for that one lady and her kid?
No.
They had like a thing where Skyrim's whole thing was it came out on 11/11/11, came out November 11th of 2011. And the deal was if anybody named their kid Dovahkiin, you would get like free Bethesda games, like you would get their entire backlog and then any future game for free.
That's amazing.
Maybe
And
one too
ever
many
since
people
then,
named their kids
I
Dovahkiin.
was gonna say they have only released Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 since their child was born.
So they're like,
Uh,
no free
so
games, fuck
yeah,
ass
it's
boy.
like
We gonna
fucking
milk this
conspiracy
shit.
theory.
You really,
Yeah,
you really thought I was gonna release 10 more?
Jesus. That's
It's
funny.
just
I forgot
theory.
about that.
It's just theory.
That's funny.
The game theory. Thanks for watching. So yeah. Speaking of medieval fantasy games, Baldur's Gate 3. Apparently the PC version is coming out a few weeks early, but PS5 owners will have to wait a little longer. Larian Studios is shifting its upcoming RPG Baldur's Gate 3's release around a bit, and that means good and bad news depending on if you are planning on playing the game on PC or PS5. The RPG, a follow-up to BioWare's Dungeons and Dragons inspired series of the late 90s and early 2000s, was originally set to leave early access and become a real video game on August 31st. Now, however, the PlayStation 5 version has been pushed back a week to September 6th. The trade-off is the PC version is launching almost a full month early on August 3rd. In an interview with Kotaku, Larian founder Sven Vink said that the decision to move the PC version up by several weeks was because early August deemed a better time to put the game out to PC players rather than holding it until the console version is also ready.
That's not why. That's not why.
No, it's not. Um, when looking at the stacked 2023 release calendar, Vink said pushing it forward to August 3rd made sense because it wouldn't be brushing up against other September RPGs like the upcoming sci-fi open world RPG Starfield and the 2077 Phantom Liberty expansion. That's the main reason. That's
Yeah.
Hey man,
that's
I get it.
all
I
these other
understand.
all these other reasons are just fluff. That's not the actual reason. The other reason, the actual
Listen,
reason
man.
is what I just said right here.
Hey man, I
Even
understand.
if I knew Starfield was gonna come out with the same quality as Fallout 7 was, I still wouldn't want to fucking go toe to toe with the Bethesda game on launch day.
No.
Yeah, yeah, it's reasonable. I get it.
I respect it. Yeah, I'm not mad. I completely respect their decision and their openness about it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is a crazy ass calendar the rest of the year,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Which
saying
is
something because the first half of the year has already been stacked.
true.
Mhm.
He's pretty
I
pretty
want to play
solid in these things.
Baldur's Gate 3. I want to.
It's pretty cool. Have you guys seen the shit going around at like footage that they showed off this week?
No, I haven't.
Just like how fucking D&D it is. The big takeaway from the latest shit that they have shown off is if you do your skill checks right, you can fuck a bear. That is not a euphemism. That's not a double entendre. They showed off a cutscene where your character has sex with a bear. Full
Spicy.
romance scene and all.
Catering to their bestiality
I
demographic, I
love it.
guess.
It's like it is
Yeah.
a full-blown D&D game.
This game, it's co-op, ain't it? I think this is.
It's 4-player co-op. It's
Yeah,
basically
this is.
it's basically like Diablo
So
in
when I
terms
was
of
looking
gameplay.
for games that played like that, they're like overhead and shit. I found like
Yeah.
just a couple that were co-op, which was Baldur's Gate 3, and then there's Wasteland 3, and things like that. And I
You
was like,
played Divinity 2.
I haven't, but I seen that one also.
Divinity 2 is great. People run like full-blown custom D&D campaigns and that shit. The workshop support for that game is insane.
Yeah, and I want to play it because I like stuff that's in depth like that. It's just funny. It can be so funny sometimes,
Fair.
and so I want to buy it, but I just haven't yet because
That's
I
fair. It's
yeah.
probably marked down pretty decently with Steam sale right now.
Oh, you think so?
Wait, so
Probably.
is Baldur's
been out for a
Gate
few
3
years.
supposed to be a top-down strategy or is it like a dungeon crawler like Diablo?
I think
It's a top-down dungeon crawler. Yeah, Divinity 2 is $18 right now.
Divinity 2.
Divine Edition, which has, well, let's see. And then they have, yeah, all the versions are on sale. You can get like complete package for $50 on sale from 80.
True.
I
I'd
don't
have
know.
to look.
That's assuming you're into the base game enough.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to look, but yeah, I've been looking at Baldur's Gate every once in a while. This one too, and it's still $60. So I'm just like, fuck,
Yeah.
man, fuck. I really want it to
That's
go
fair.
down in price. Been out for, it's been in early access for 2 damn years.
Yeah. Have you guys, now that we're on the topic, have you guys picked up anything in the Steam sale this year or this month?
Oh,
I have not.
I've been broke, and I really don't want to buy nothing.
That's valid.
Same. Same.
That's
Okay,
valid. I got a few games. I got more than I probably, honestly, which is typical.
Did you? It'd probably be one I'd be willing to play, but it probably wouldn't be a game where I'm like, I really want this. Probably more like, let's get this to fuck around with friends and shit.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But yeah, I got some stuff. I got like, what did I get? I got Fallout 4, Dave the Diver, which is fucking indie game of the year 2023. I got Project Zomboid. I think Payday 2 is like 99 cents right now.
True. Oh, there's
got
this
that.
one game called We We Who Are About to Die. It's some gladiator game. It's also kind of like indie, but I've been thinking about that one too. That one's like 25% off. It's
That
like
sounds kind of rad.
$16. And then a bunch of these like other top-down strategies that I look at sometimes, but I just don't know if they're good. This one has positive reviews. It's called War Tales.
Yeah. Torchlight 2 is pretty good. Torchlight 3 is kind of a bummer.
I think I actually played that a little bit. That was kind of
Torchlight
meh.
2 is fantastic. Torchlight 3, they built it originally as a mobile game
Yep.
and then decided to keep everything as it was and port it to console, and it shows.
Yep.
Fallout 76 is $10.
Oh boy.
I have the Xbox Game Pass. I could just fucking.
Yeah, well, I think they gave it out for free on Plus last year. So,
Oh, true.
because they had to.
Yeah. They needed a player base a little bit. But yeah. So those were all the articles that I seen that I personally wanted to talk about. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to include in there?
Nah, I think I'm Gucci.
I don't think so. I will call out just because I'm really excited for it, and I was talking about it earlier. They did announce about 2 days ago, and I forgot to post. They are doing a giant panel at San Diego Comic-Con for Spider-Man 2, the video game. And they have said that the big thing that they are doing July 19th, which I am stoked about because it is my birthday, they are going stupid in depth for like 2 hours about nothing else but Venom. Like there's a 2 hour panel at Comic Con on my birthday about the Venom that they are using in the new Spider-Man game.
Jesus Christ.
I am
Nice.
so excited.
Hell yeah.
This man's just like, happy birthday to me.
No shit. Venom is by a fucking country mile my favorite comic book character.
You'll have to write down some notes and talk about it on the next podcast, huh?
Oh yeah,
Or not on the
yeah,
next
no.
one, but I think it'll be the following one.
We'll 1,000,000% be talking about that.
Beautiful.
2 fucking hours for my boy.
How the fuck do you even do that?
It's got to be a lot going on.
I fucking guess. Jesus.
I don't know.
All right.
My working theory, I saw someone on Reddit and I inclined to agree with them because I expect way too much out of stuff. But there was someone that said, hey, yo, what if Venom ends up being the Spot from Spider-Verse and he just pops into this dimension and starts taking over the symbiote suit?
That'd be pretty cool.
I would cry.
Is
That
the
would
the
actually
first
kill.
Spider-Man game on sale?
Yeah. Yeah, both of the, I think like the entire lineup on Steam is marked down right now.
Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Miles Morales are both on sale.
Yeah, those are two really solid pickups.
Looks like Remastered is on sale for $40. And then
bad.
Miles Morales, it looks like it is 30, 33.
It's not bad.
I'll have to pick these up when I have some extra funds.
True.
So
yeah, that's the last thing I had.
okay. Alrighty. Well, if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and end it here. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure to go ahead and drop a follow on the socials below. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like, leave a comment if you're feeling peachy, even share the video if you're feeling extra peachy. Let's see what else do I got for shameless advertisement. Follow our Twitch streams. I have been absolutely a lazy piece of shit the last few weeks and have not streamed at all, but I plan on getting back into it. I've just been on a burnout, man. Between work and gym and all this other shit, it's just like I haven't had the mental energy, but it's a shit excuse, and I will be working on it, and hopefully I will be live again sometime this week. Probably going to be playing some more of Days Gone. Should be a couple more YouTube videos popping up besides the podcast on the channel. We'll be having 2 more submission videos. Hopefully one within the next week and a half. The other one will be in a couple weeks to like a month. Talking about BGS submissions and honestly my review on their bulk submissions and their customer service. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. So we'll go ahead and peace out of here. Get you guys back to your day-to-day. Have a good one.
Peace out, gamers.
Yeah. Ready to
Philip,
grab some
I need you
food.
to say something more inventive than that.
Oh my god. Have a good night.